You're listening to the BackPorchTalk Podcast. Danny and Jason had many discussions and debates on the back porch while making pivotal investment moves with assets. That's right, with trading cards. They welcome you to the back porch and right into those discussions about current sports news with a fresh and unique twist. So come on and join us. Welcome to the BackPorchTalk Podcast. I'm your co-host, Jason.
Your co-host, Daddy.
Fans, we got a full show for you today. NBA playoffs and just a whole lot of news happening in the NBA. A little NFL. But before we get right into it, Danny, fans, we need you to go ahead and like the channel. We need you to subscribe to the channel. Just take a moment right now. Just hit like, because you know you're going to like the show. Subscribe to the channel, because you know you're going to hear us again next week. But Danny, right into the NBA, and where big news today, before we get into the playoffs, big news today, and part of the reason why I'm wearing my Bucks gear, Giannis is open to playing for another team. And I have to say, this is bittersweet. It's bittersweet in that I'm upset with John Horst and the Bucks organization for not providing flexibility to improve the roster. Right when the news hit, there was an article on ESPN, four-letter network, and where they talked about basically really the Giannis lottery, basically all the tiers, all the teams, what the teams have to offer. But the article begins with the Milwaukee Bucks, and where since 2017, Milwaukee has made 25 trades that have cost the team 7 first-round picks, 3 years of pick swaps, and 18 second-rounders. I'm wearing my Bucks gear, the championship hat, all that, because I think this is the beginning of the end of the Giannis era in Milwaukee. And I can't even be mad at Giannis to some degree, because he did give us a championship. He did help with downtown Milwaukee. He built an arena. Now, he shouldn't have played GM. I think one of the worst moves was to get rid of Drew Holiday. So it's bittersweet. It's sweet, though, in that someone had to say something. It was either going to be the Bucks organization or Giannis that says something to move the needle to some progress, some move that has got to be made for the betterment of the Bucks organization. I'm just glad that someone said it. Now, this was a measured statement. It was very well thought out in terms of the timing, because tonight is the draft lottery, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe this week is the NBA Combine or something like that. So there's a whole lot going on. What say you about the whole Giannis being open to playing for another team?
Well, Jason, the last time we broached this subject, which is 2 shows ago, so if you didn't listen to that, please listen to that, because we actually preempted this conversation today.
Yep.
Before the Bucks were even eliminated by the Indiana Pacers, of what may happen with Giannis. And nothing was really being said. And our thought at the time was there's a strong possibility, but we need to first see the Bucks eliminated from the playoffs to have that, start having that conversation, which they were.
Mm-hmm.
And now time went on, and now if Giannis is making this type of statement, it aligns with tonight, with the draft lottery. Where there's smoke, there may be fire.
Mm-hmm.
I think, though, the lottery may or may not be an impact depending on who wins the lottery. But it at least puts teams on notice that, hey, we may be open for business. And it's tough to hear that news from the Bucks standpoint, but it had to be said. It's kind of that was that dark cloud just kind of hanging out there. Uh, but it had to be said, and Giannis made the statement, but it doesn't necessarily solidify anything
Hmm.
because if some moves can be made to make him happy, he may stay. Right now, we're into the Bucks off season, and now we'll see what happens if anything ahead of the draft. But I look at it like this. There are a couple teams which we highlighted in our show a couple weeks ago that have a lot of first round picks, a lot of draft capital, and maybe some younger pieces that could be exchanged for Giannis. And I think that's where the Bucks have to make out on this whole deal. You cannot take a trade and get put behind. You need to build for the future. This is where Cooper Flag, how does he play into this and who's involved? So that's where this draft lottery is key tonight, because if it's a team that may be able to pivot off Cooper Flag to swing for the fences with Giannis, that could be in play. But it's all speculation at this point. But it is something we thought was coming, and now the wheels are in motion, so to speak.
It's almost like, how did we get here?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We got here by what I mentioned earlier about the picks, the trades. I think the trade with Middleton and Kuzma, that was an effort to provide some flexibility when it comes to contracts and everything. We all know though Kuzma is not the person. He's not the third person. Dame is going to be out next year. I mean, at this juncture, you were really hoping, okay, can the NBA provide like a exception there because of Dame's injury?
Mm-hmm.
With the flexibility, maybe we can get another, quality piece there, and re-sign some players possibly. Bobby Portis is going to be gone. I think he has a player option. And at this juncture, I mean, I think he could get more money on the market, quite honestly. The question is, what do the Bucks get in return? I'm hearing a lot about Houston. I'm hearing a lot about even San Antonio. I'm hearing Giannis is very tax savvy when it comes to the state of Texas. So we'll see. I think though the Bucks would need to get a combination of not only draft picks but bodies.
Yes.
The big issue I think the Bucks will have upon trading Giannis would be putting butts in the seats, the fan base.
Mm-hmm.
But the fan base cannot. You have to give Giannis a lot of props, man. He drafted, developed Giannis, and he became a champion. The issue I have with the Milwaukee Bucks is not only in the GM position, and we extended John Horst. My issue, though, is too is player development. What happened to all the draft picks that we had that busted? What happened to the most recent draft picks
Yes.
in where they didn't get no playing time, no run,
Not even on the roster in some
not
cases.
even on the roster anymore? What is going on player development wise?
Mm-hmm.
And at this juncture, I mean, you can't fire Doc Rivers, but you're gonna have to say something to the coaches that are playing, head of player development. So
Mm-hmm.
this is bittersweet, man. I mean, Giannis gonna get traded, man. This is be real. There's no getting around it now. I mean, anytime you have a athlete like Giannis being open minded, he's thought about the situation
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot. So, and he has time to think about it.
And Jason, this has not been something. This is not new with Giannis either. This has been rumored how many years?
Yeah.
He may go to Golden State. They may
Hmm.
trade for him. The Lakers may trade for him. The Heat may trade for him. Dallas. So there have been teams that just kind of been hanging out, putting this out there. And this is nothing new, but now it's actually real. I think
Oh,
that's
it's
the
real.
difference.
It's real. It's
Yeah.
real.
Back in the past, it was more how can you build a super team with Giannis and trying to pull him away from Milwaukee. Now there's a reason for him to possibly leave.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, Danny, on to a little bit of the NBA playoffs and where just a whole lot has happened. Indiana Pacers just demolished the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they now lead that series 3-1. I don't see Cleveland coming back from this. And this would be a totally disappointing season. Donovan Mitchell comes up injured in at halftime, doesn't play the whole second half. Don't know what it is. MRI is supposed to happen today. Either way you look at it, man, Cleveland's not coming back from this. Pacers got this series, and this is actually to me a surprise based upon the regular season that Cleveland has had, and just disappointing, man. I actually didn't want to see the Pacers in the conference finals. Just be real. I thought it was
Mhm.
going to be Boston and Cleveland in the conference finals, and oh boy, was I wrong. Looks like Pacers are going to advance. The Thunder and Nuggets, Thunder prevailed 92-87 last night, tying the series 2 games apiece. They go back to OKC for game 5. I don't know what's going to happen in this one. I was thinking the Nuggets were going to get this, but I think the Nuggets are worn out. I saw a stat that how many games they played towards the end of the season into the playoffs, and we'll see how this goes for the Nuggets. What say you about Pacers, Cavs, Nuggets, Thunder, Danny?
Jason, in the Cavaliers Pacers series, the Cavaliers have dealt with injury with Garland and Mobley. But when we started talking about the playoffs, I thought the Cavaliers could be had. I thought it
Mm,
would be the Bucks to beat the Pacers to get to the Cavaliers, where I was
mm.
incorrect there. But I thought the Cavaliers could be had. It's just something about them, man. I think they've had some experience there, but I look at it too, though. They're banged up. And I give them the benefit of the doubt there. If you don't have your key players, it's going to be hard to win a series, especially the way the Pacers are playing right now. The Pacers are hitting on all cylinders, but I think the Pacers need to get this game 5 and wrap this series tomorrow night
Hmm. Hmm.
because you know you want to give Cavaliers any type of life. This is where you just take them out and be done, get the series
Hmm.
over with.
Hmm.
And as far as the Nuggets and Thunder are concerned, yeah, the Nuggets are tired, man. Jokic is drained,
Hmm.
and you can see it from their shots, like the legs and everything. They're not getting that lift. And yesterday was a game actually Denver almost still won, considering how bad they were playing. Uh, OKC took it, won it towards the end, but it was a 1 point game in the fourth. But we'll see, man, going into game 5, what kind of energy does Denver have? They need Michael Porter to be a little more consistent. He's had
Yeah.
some good games when they won, but in the games they've lost, he hasn't shown up. Like yesterday, I think he had 3 points. They need more out of him in order for them to be able to take down OKC. So this one, I think, may go 7 based on how it's trending right now. But pivotal game 5 tomorrow night with the Thunder and Nuggets.
And then on tonight's game, you have Knicks Celtics, where the Celtics demolished the Knicks in New York. They still are down 2-1. And then you have the Warriors Timberwolves without Steph. Steph being injured with the hamstring injury.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks Celtics, man, this game tonight is going to be a grand amount type game. Looking forward to this game. The Knicks are going to make this a little bit more competitive, but more close. And I think the Knicks need to go ahead and win this game. Warriors, Timberwolves. I think Timberwolves got this series, man. I think without Steph, I don't know if Warriors going to have enough. Anthony Edwards is really starting to, you know, catch his stride as he
Mm-hmm.
strives to dunk over so many Warriors, man. Oh my gosh, man. It was filthy. It was nasty, man. That's all I gotta say. So interesting games tonight.
Hmm.
I think I'm more so intrigued with the Knicks Celtics, quite honestly, because I know there's going to be a grind out game. Warriors, Timberwolves. I just sense the Timberwolves are going to mollywop the Warriors, quite honestly. What say you, Danny, about these series?
Celtics, Knicks, Jason. On Saturday in Saturday's game, the Celtics were up actually 30 in this game, and the Knicks, and they've blown those 20-point leads, and the Knicks started coming back a little bit, but Boston kept shooting 3-pointers. I still don't get sometimes their philosophy where they're not. You have a lead, milk some of the clock and take it to the basket, and they're firing up threes with like
I
20
don't
seconds
get it.
left on the shot clock.
I don't get it, man.
I don't understand it either. So I'm definitely looking forward to this game, and I agree. This is a must win for New York if they want to
Yeah,
get this series. If they
yeah.
don't win tonight, I think it's a wrap for them. Not to say they can't, win the series, but I think the momentum just swings heavily into Boston's favor.
Hmm.
And then we'll also see what Porzingis looks like. He still looks sluggish. He has a reported illness. They haven't really disclosed what, but he still doesn't look right. So that's, I think, another key component to this whole series is Porzingis. And then on the Timberwolves Warriors front, Warriors blew a key opportunity on Saturday night.
Hmm. Hmm.
They're up, I believe, 7 in the fourth. And then Minnesota went on that run. Anthony Edwards had that crazy dunk. I think it was over Kevon Looney.
Hmm.
And he almost had another one, a
Almost
two-handed.
had another one too. Yeah, he sure did.
And
He
he
sure
was
did.
way up high on that one. It
He
was
sure did.
ridiculous. But the Warriors missed a key opportunity to at least weather the storm to see if Steph could come back. Because it's being stated that he may come back game 5 or game 6. But with a hamstring, man, you never know. He may not come back at all. So if the Warriors lose tonight, yeah, you can put a bow on this series.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
this is where Jimmy Butler has to bring it. Kaminga has actually been playing well for them. But this is where they need Jimmy Butler to put his footprint on this game and give them a puncher's chance to win tonight.
And Danny, just as we're talking about the NBA playoffs, and some additional NBA news, and where Michael Jordan is actually going to be on NBC, and it's going to be in a special contributor role. And NBC is doing this kind of right, man. Let's
Mm-hmm.
just be real. They're getting ready for the next season. They're starting to get their crew together, and what better way to start things off than by having Michael Jordan as a special contributor? Now, what that means, don't know when he gonna show up,
Mm-hmm.
but just the fact that he's gonna show up, that speaks volumes. And I'm trying to think, all the major stars, when you think about it, in the NBA, or the all-time greats, shall I say,
Mm-hmm.
have done something on TV at one point or another. Bill Russell, who was Bill Walton, Isaiah
Mm-hmm.
Thomas, of course, Reggie, I'm trying to think some
Magic for a minute.
Magic for a minute, some all-time multi-championship winners.
Mm-hmm.
They've all done some form of TV. And now, granted, some good, some bad, some just okay. But I think with Jordan and his media savviness, I think he would be actually really good. And it could be just maybe him interviewing another player, or him just giving his perspective, even if he's just in there every so often.
Mm-hmm.
The ratings would be through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
This is a major play by NBC. This is a strategic move by NBC.
Yeah.
So, man, what say you, Danny, about this move?
Jason, this one definitely caught me by surprise. I would have never thought they would have got Jordan off the golf course. And Jordan's involved in so many different business ventures and everything. For them to pull this off was downright miracle in my eyes, because how often do you get Michael Jordan from an NBA perspective really to say much? You know, he was a part of the ownership with Charlotte, but he really didn't say much.
Mm-hmm,
You know,
mm-hmm,
he was kind of behind the scenes, and for
mm-hmm,
him to do this, and it gives you that retro feel from when he was
mm-hmm.
in his heyday, right?
Exactly.
And when we were, growing up and watching the NBA on NBC and the playoffs and the
Mm-hmm.
championship games, like you said, now we wait to see what he's actually going to be doing
Yep.
as a part of this whole telecast and show. So, no, great pull, like you mentioned, for NBC and Peacock. And now we'll see what happens with Jordan and what he actually does for them.
And then just as we talk about the NBA, to the shift over to NFL and where schedule release happens on Wednesday. But we do know which teams will actually start the season off, and that would be none other than the Eagles, defending champion Eagles, facing off against division rival Dallas Cowboys. I mean, let's be real, man. I mean, who really want to watch the Cowboys? I mean, in terms of them being relevant, yes, a divisional game, but come on, man. I mean, yeah, the ratings will be good. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what the NFL is really going for, just the ratings, because Cowboys are going to give you the ratings, but it's not going to be a great game. I mean, I rather, and I don't know if you want to start off with a divisional team. So does that mean that the rest of the league is going to start off, divisional games?
Mm-hmm.
I guess we have to wait until Wednesday, but I don't know. I kind of like it where there's been at least a couple games, real games played, not necessarily division, so that way you can work out the bugs, kinks, whatever the case may be, and the divisional games would be even better
Yep.
after working out those kinks. So I probably won't be watching this game, quite honestly. I think this is a miss. You know what? I put it like this. I think it's the Cowboys. I put it like this. If it was the Eagles against the Washington Commanders,
Mm-hmm.
I think I would watch that. And I think the Cowboys are getting overhyped, man. They always do. What say you, Danny, about this scheduling in this initial game?
Jason, I agree. A divisional game to start off the season, I would prefer AFC NFC, right? Where it's the Eagles versus either like a Buffalo Bills, a Kansas City Chiefs, or a Baltimore. Now, I
Mhm.
don't have who actually they would actually go up
Mhm.
against, because they
Right.
have, the teams determined already. But that's what I would want to see, because that could be a future Super Bowl matchup. And it gets you going, gets both the AFC and NFC involved. It's not so NFC or conference centric. So it's like, it's the cow. But
Yeah.
like you said, it's going to be a big number because it's the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I prefer, like they usually do it, with AFC, NFC, last year's Super Bowl, or someone who should have made the Super Bowl against
Mm-hmm.
the actual Super Bowl winner. I don't know, but we'll see on Wednesday night what that schedule release looks like, because the NFL makes a big deal out of all these different events, off-season events, to keep their name relevant, the brand relevant.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for joining us at Backporch Talk Podcast. You can also join us on Twitter by tweeting us at @back_podcast. For more information, you can go to our website, which is backporchtalkpodcast.com. You can also email us at backporchtalkpodcast@gmail.com. Again, thank you for joining us, and remember that there's enough hate in the world, so go ahead and spread a little love.